Maeya TV. I am here at the US-China Business Summit, and we're here with producer Kim Holland. Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So could you please introduce yourselves to our audience?
Yes, absolutely. As you mentioned, we're here at the China-US Business Summit, and we just finished the Entertainment Forum. I am a producer and originally was in film investment for 10 years and then started producing myself. And today we had the opportunity to show our most recent documentary called A Perfect Love.
So tell us about this documentary that you're working on.
Yeah, so A Perfect Love is about an American family from Kentucky who adopted 6 special needs children from China in a period of 8 years. So it's about the story of 2 cultures coming together, living together, becoming a family together. And we completed that in 2023, and it was on the film festival circuit and became an official selection at 60 film festivals, international film festivals around the world, and so far has won 34 awards.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Kim, how did you become involved in this project?
So actually, I became involved in this project through a nonprofit called A Perfect Love, which supports 96 American families that adopt 2 or more special needs children from China when they encounter extraordinary, unexpected expenses. So not for daily living expenses, but maybe there's an emergency surgery, or in 2022, I believe it was, when the Florida hurricane hit, there was a family down there whose house was decimated and they had nowhere to go with the children with special needs that they had adopted. And so A Perfect Love, the nonprofit, stepped in to help the family with housing until their insurance kicked in.
Okay, so we're here at this business forum. Can you tell us about your involvement here and talking about the entertainment business?
Yes, absolutely. I'm actually the co-chair of the China-US Business Summit, and we just celebrated our 13th China-US Business Summit in Los Angeles. And then there were also 2 summits that were held in China during the COVID period, but we didn't hold any business summits here since 2019. So we're really glad to be back today, once again, holding the summit.
Can you tell us why this summit is so important to you?
It's really important to me because it brings Chinese and Americans together, Chinese entrepreneurs and American entrepreneurs, and it gives them a platform for talking about different industries, from real estate to technology to film to investment. All kinds of different opportunities are discussed here. And so I think it's a great way to bring people together with common interests so that they can explore opportunities together.
Is there anything our audience might not know that they should be aware of about the entertainment business?
In general?
Sure, in general.
Okay. Well, the entertainment business, it's a fun business. You definitely have to have a passion for it because it's not easy at all. Anybody who's in film, who's a producer or director, we all know that it can take many years to get funding for a project and get it completed and distributed. So you really have to have a lot of confidence in what you're doing, and you have to love what you're doing to make it happen.
Oh, Kim, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time as well.
And stay tuned, Maeya TV, for more. Hello, Maeya TV. Welcome back. We are at the China-US Business Summit with producer Kevin Foster.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's so great to meet with you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about the work you've done as a producer and as an actor.
All right. Well, this is my 61st year in entertainment. And I started when I was a child actor back east, grew up in the theater, all the way to Broadway. And then I spent 12 years on a bicycle I probably made more money and became more famous for that, my cycling exploits. And then after I retired from cycling, I got back into my acting career. But I said, I want to write, I want to produce, I want to go into other avenues, because I felt that the more you have, the more control that you can have on your projects. And so that's what I was really looking for. And so that's really what I've been doing for the last 20 plus years now.
Now, I've heard that you've produced feature films. You've also produced documentary films. Tell us about those.
Yeah, I've gone into different aspects. When I went into my first project, I mean, I went like big. All right, I loved when I was growing up. I loved Sylvester Stallone. I loved Rocky, and he wrote the script and he starred in it. And I thought, oh, I always want to do that. And so this project that I did, which is actually streaming right now on a YouTube channel, it's called Yesterday's Dreams. And so I wrote it, and I wanted to star in it, but I also wanted to produce it. And I had 3 titles, and that just made me crazy to do something like, wow, that's a that's a lot. So and that did well. And then a friend of mine wanted to do a documentary. So I said, okay. And I got involved with another documentary that I thought was really, as an investor. And I thought, wow, this is actually really good. I think you should go out and promote it. And we started talking about that, and they went out and promoted, and then ended up winning the 2008 Academy Award for short documentary, and it was called Smile Pinky. And that just started the ball rolling with the marketing and the strategy, what you have to do to get above the noise and get people to watch your film. And so I've been doing documentaries like the last 10 years now, and we seem to kind of be in that main mode. I'd like to get back to feature films, but sometimes you have investors, and your investors come, and when you start racking up your credits, and you're known for a certain thing, then other investors come in, and they say, oh, I like what you did on your last film, and I want you to help with this one, and could you help with this one, and can you work with this one? And then we sit down and we talk, what's the budget, and we go over, and I say, okay, here's my strategy, and here's what we do once we get this. So if I come in on something, I'm very hands-on. I mean, I'm on the film set every day. I'm in the editing room all the time. I want to make sure that we have a really nice, tight film that people are going to, watch and not yawn. And you don't want that. You don't want people yawning. You don't want people going like this, checking their watches. So if we could have something in a story, in a film, that's going to move people, then I feel, okay, we've done our job.
Is there anything unique about financing and marketing a documentary versus a narrative film?
Well, yeah, there's a lot. Like, we've been doing short documentaries the last 10 years. Seems to like that. What's tough about that is distribution, because most streamers or just distributors are not really looking for short documentaries. If they are looking in that area, they're looking for feature documentaries or a series, maybe. But it's easier to promote and to find distribution on streamer if you had a feature narrative. And so that's why I'm trying to lean this way now with it.
Okay, so tell us about the recent film that you've done. I've heard it did very well in film festivals.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. We started, I got the call from my investor, which was like at midnight, and he wanted to do the story. And I'm like, and maybe I was tired. I was like, I don't know. This was like June of 2021. I said, well, okay, if you want to do it, this is what we're going to need. Talk to the family, deal with all this stuff and get it down. So we okayed that. But I said, well, we don't know. See, sometimes you just don't know. And what a story was. So investors, they get a little nervous. They're going to like, oh, here's a pile of money. What are you going to do, right? So what I usually do is this. I'll go, okay, let's get $10,000 together. Now, $10,000, we're talking a lot of money. You're talking $10,000, not a lot. Let's just have that. Let's just go out and do like a promo piece. And let's see how it works. And then once we have the promo piece, and then let's put it out there. Let's let other people look at it and see what you think. That's what we did with this project called The Perfect Love. And we know we were going to do a short documentary. However, I said, if you're nervous about that, because we don't know how it's going to work, let's do the promo. So I got my wife, which is my co-producer, on it. I got the director, and it's the three of us. And we're like the three team. And we flew out to Kentucky to meet this family. We spent like 4 days with them. We filmed. We said, well, we're just going to give this a try. And then we put it together, and really a nice one where you have music, and we even did like the end credits, and we just said, okay, there's the story right there. And the funny thing is, the family and other people thought that was the documentary. And I know this is just the promo piece. So we all looked at it, our investor looked at it, we all looked at it and said, oh, looks good. We got some potential here. Let's go for the long one. And so we did. Then we got the rest of the money and said, okay, I said, it's going to take a year. And right after that, we're going to go right into our film festival selections and submissions on that. And that's what I like as a filmmaker. Now, most filmmakers will go, okay, we need this budget to make the film. And they'll get it. And they make the film. But now they run out of money. And so now the film stays on a shelf because they're trying to raise this much money to promote it. And it takes 8 to 10 times the cost of your budget to promote your film above the noise of everybody else. So now they've got their film sitting on a shelf for a year or two while they're trying to raise the money. I don't want to do that. So when I say the budget, I'm talking the budget. So I've got this, but I already have all this in the bank. And then right after it's done, we get it all set. We get the music in there. We get the sound control. Everything is set. It's like, boom, we got it now. Go right in. And so that's what we did. So here's the timeline for this one. We start talking about it in June of 21. We start filming the promo in July of 21. We all take a look at it. Looks good. Get the money. Bang. We go start filming. We finish in July of 22. All done, set. By August of 22, I'm already submitting to the festivals for January. So you always have to think like 6 months ahead, 5-6 months ahead. So I start in August for January. So now my submission period is from August to April. And that covers my entire year. So from August of 22 to April of 23 covers my festival circuit from January of 23, and we just finished up March. So like 15 months we're on that. Now during that time, we're starting, you put it out there and say, okay, let's see how it goes. Starting in January, we started getting submitted, selected and winning. So in the last 15 months, we've been selected into 60 festivals around the world, and we won 34 awards.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, so that like, okay, a lot of people love this film, and we get the feedback. That's the other thing too. It's important to a filmmaker is that you need to go out there, you need to go on the road, you need to promote it, and you need to listen to the audiences. And when the audience, and you need to listen, like, even though you've seen the film so many times and get really tired of seeing the film, you got to be in the back, not watching the film, but you're watching and listening to the audience, and like, oh, they laughed at that part. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think they would laugh at that. Oh, they cried. Oh, good, they cried at that part. And you're kind of taking notes as where they laughed, where they liked it, and all that. And what I like to say is when we're doing them, they're mainly dramas. We're doing it is like, look, we have the film, we get it. Judging is selective. I mean, there's no control over it. But what I found out is if the judges are moved by it, emotionally moved by it, that equals votes. Votes equal wins. Wins equal shiny trophies. So that's it. And then we got qualified for the Academy Awards. We didn't make the cut. Now we're on to our Emmy. We just submitted to the Emmys last week. So we'll see on that. Some of the judges aren't like that. And it's really, you got to get it out there, and you don't know what's going to happen. But if you have the budget and you can say, you know what, let's submit to that festival. Let's give it a try. But if you win, if you're selected, like we were like in Wales and Amsterdam and Monaco, and we're in Ireland, and you better have the money to fly out there, because the budget is your plane fare, your rental car, your hotels, your food. There it is. Those are the 4 big items that take most of the money of your promotional budget. Plus, you get a good PR agent. When we did our last film, Against the Wall, this is the way I work. Who's the best? All right. Most people will go from the bottom and start up. Yeah, start at the top, because you see, if you start at the bottom and they say yes, whoops, there you go. But if you start at the top, so I said, okay, who's the best? And they give me a person. Okay, I'm going to go, Kevin, you are never going to get that person. You are never going to get that person. I said, hey, how do you know? How do you know unless you try? Okay? So we started. And I had to keep after this person. Oh, come on, watch the film. Just watch the film, And kept putting him up. He finally watched it and like, wow, that's a really good film. Okay, I'll represent you. And then most of Hollywood went, oh, we do films. How'd you get this guy? We can't even get this guy. I said, hey, got to try. There you go. So that's what takes the money, because you need your PR agent. That's your cheerleader. That's the one that's going, look at this film. And with the contacts that they have, they can get you into doors that maybe you can't. Right? So that's why you have to add your team members, and that's what takes the money.
So Kevin, are there any future projects that you can tell us about?
Yes, we are working right now. We've already started filming on another. I know I want to do a feature film. I know I want to get into that, but it's the craziest thing. Several months ago, I had a dream. I mean, I went to bed and I had a dream, and I dreamt the whole story. I was watching. I was sitting in the audience, and I watched the whole story. And the title, I saw the poster, I saw everything in the dream. And I woke up and I go, I got to do this. I have to produce this. And so it was the craziest thing. And so we all got together, the team got together again, and we just started filming. And I think it's a story that really needs to be told, because people don't know the story. And this is, now the Academy Awards is 96 years old. And there's just one Oscar. It's, for me, the most beloved Oscar in the Hollywood history of the Academy. And they all call it the Rain Man Oscar. And there's a friend of ours, Barry Morrow, and he wrote Rain Man 35 years ago and won the Academy Award for Best Script and won for Best Film, 1988. And I said, Barry, no one really knows the story. We gotta put your story out there on how over 1 million people have held your Oscar. And that's why there's no gold on the Oscar anymore, because it's all been wiped off by mainly children who've handled it and people who've handled it. It's just all worked off. And I said, that's a fantastic story, and we just need to do it, and let's go do it. And he says, okay, let's do it. So we started filming it, and we're working on that one, and we're working on other projects too. So so we try to, okay, let's do a little here. Okay, let's get something over here. And this is, I mean, it's crazy how to, when things start getting, bombarded with you as a producer, and you have to compartmentalize. You have to,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're doing this now. We're doing this. We're doing this, and that's why I have to get away for a while. I have a place up in the mountains, and so when it gets crazy, I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here for a while. I'm going back up to the mountains. I'm going to go walk. I'm going to go hike up in the mountains, and that's what I do. I go hiking by myself. And, my wife thinks I'm crazy.
Kevin, I can't wait to see that movie, and thank you so much for talking with us.
Well, thank you.
And thank you, Maeya TV, for watching.
Wow, thank you.